Now in 4 News Now at 6, the Inland Northwest honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. We'll introduce you to one mother who is spending her first Memorial Day mourning the loss of her son.
Our beautiful Memorial Day weather is not going to last. I'll show you when we can expect some rain and possible thunderstorms in your first alert forecast.
And conservation concerns at Mount Spokane will break down the changes that could be on the way and how it's meant to deal with the increase in visitors. You're watching 4 News Now at 6. Today, local services and ceremonies honored and mourned those who've died serving our country. These ceremonies remind us that our freedom comes at a high price. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. Kirsten O'Connor has the night off. This Memorial Day, we want to thank all of the brave men and women who have given their lives in service to our country. Marissa Rio takes us to the Memorial Day ceremony at the State Veterans Cemetery in Medical Lake.
Every minute, every hour, every day, Americans enjoy the blessings of this nation. Blessings that are protected by the selfless service of men and women in uniform.
Crowds of people gathered at the State Veterans Cemetery to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Music played, the Honor Guard held their flag folding ceremony, and veterans from each military branch were honored, all to pay tribute to America's fallen heroes. Many of our nation's heroes are buried here in this cemetery. Following today's ceremony, many took the time to come here and drop off flowers or just spend some quality time with their loved ones who are buried here. This is how one mom wanted to spend her Memorial Day, visiting her son's tombstone while listening to his favorite band. While her son didn't die in combat, he did serve our country in the Marine Corps.
That was his dream as a child, with him playing with his G.I. Joes and whatnot, but yeah.
Paula Padilla's son passed away from cancer last year, and today is her first Memorial Day without him.
He was very strong, very loving, very kind, and he did his job very well. For all of us to be, I guess, be able just to be here right now.
Veterans also visited the cemetery following today's ceremony. One Vietnam vet saying he visits here every Memorial Day.
We need to reflect and remember. It's important to try to understand the sacrifices that some have made. It's difficult unless you've walked in their shoes.
Others also urging Americans to not only remember our fallen heroes today, but every day that we can. In Medical Lake, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
And many people took advantage of the 3-day weekend to check out the Inland Northwest beautiful rivers and lakes. While it's finally warming up, it's also a good time to remember the risk those rivers and lakes can pose. Bronte Sorotsky joins us live from Corbin Park in Post Falls with how to stay safe.
Well, while this water may be gorgeous, it can also be deadly. Check out how choppy the water is just right behind me. I went out with the Kootenai County Fire and Rescue Team just to see how to navigate these waters safely.
This is the kickoff to summer.
For many, that means heading down to the water to cool off.
Probably one of the nicest days we've had yet is it's still extremely cold in the water.
For David Cesarini and his son, it meant a father-son fishing trip.
So we usually fish on a boat, and the first thing that he does is life jacket. First of all, it's safety and it's the law, right?
Because Memorial Day weekend draws so many people to the water, for likely the first time in a long time, fire departments like Kootenai Fire and Rescue say it's essential that people get a refresher.
And if you're an inexperienced swimmer, this is not the place to come and learn how to swim. There's a great current here. It's very quick. There's current under the surface as well as on the surface.
And this water is still ice cold. It won't take long to become hypothermic.
That means your sense of everything goes down significantly. So your reaction time goes down significantly. Your ability to respond to danger goes down.
With an average of 3 drownings at Corbin Park each year, bringing a life jacket is more than just a suggestion.
There's just serious undercurrents there, and you can throw a pine cone in the water, and sometimes it'll pull it underneath. And, I mean, it's pretty scary.
Another thing to keep in mind that in Idaho, for kids 14 and under, a life jacket is required. In Washington, that goes for kids 12 and under. Reporting live in Post Falls, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Bronte, thanks so much. The danger isn't just on the water, though. Between Memorial Day and Labor Day, experts say the number of crashes on the roads spikes, especially for young drivers. Take a look at this photo from a crash on I-90 that injured one person and a Washington State patrol trooper. The crash happening near the Broadway exit, causing a major traffic backup. And the Idaho Transportation Department says since more people are out celebrating, there are higher rates of risky behavior, including distracted driving and speeding. So there are things you can do now to help lower your child's risk of getting into a crash. Remind them to always wear their seatbelt and drive sober. Follow the speed limit, stay focused, and try to anticipate the actions of other drivers. All right, here is a live look of some people doing some fishing out there on the Spokane River near Corbin Park, in Post Falls. And Chris, you really can't ask for any better weather today, but sounds like we've got some big changes coming.
Yes, we do. In fact, you may hear the rain on the roof as early as overnight. We are tracking some storms in the first alert forecast. Here's a look at our forecast radar. Starting off at 11 o'clock tonight, we have the chance of some light rain beginning in the overnight. Here's 2 a.m. and we see some showers from the Tri-Cities up through Ritzville and working their way into southern Spokane County. That chance of showers increases as we get into the morning. Here's Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Wouldn't rule out an isolated mountain thunderstorm as early as mid-morning. More likely that will hold off until the afternoon. And then we have more hit and miss showers as we get into the afternoon, drying out as we get into Tuesday evening. Hour by hour, we go through 6 a.m. It's 52 degrees with a 20% chance of showers, overcast conditions, 62 degrees by 9 a.m. It is going to be a warm day, even with the chance of showers. We're into the 70s by noon, and we also have that chance of thunderstorms, only about a 30% chance of measurable rain, however. So it isn't a slam dunk that you're going to have a shower at your house, but the odds are you will run into at least a sprinkle or two. We'll see things taper off by the time we're into the evening. 0% chance of measurable rain, and that high of 74 is running above average, but there is cooler weather on the way for Wednesday. I'll let you know what to expect in just a few minutes, Derek.
Thank you, Chris. Well, more construction will be getting in the way of your commute around Spokane. Drivers on the east side of the South Hill will need to plan for slowdowns and detours as work gets underway to build a roundabout at 57th and Freya. You'll see flaggers in the area in both directions and can expect slowdowns on adjacent streets. A sign posted on 57th says the road will be closed starting tomorrow. The project is scheduled to finish in mid-July. And the new section of the North Spokane corridor between the Freya and Wellesley interchanges will fully close for a month starting tomorrow. Wellesley will be completely closed between Market and Freya. Crews will finish paving, striping, and signing the route. Drivers will have to enter and exit the freeway up at the Freya interchange, which is just north of Francis. You can get a closer look at these detours by going to our website at KXLY.com. DNA evidence will take center stage in the next hearing for the University of Idaho murders case. In a closed-door hearing, the defense will present evidence and witnesses related to the investigative genetic genealogy, or IGG. IGG is when investigators match DNA with information from genealogy websites. But critics argue it could violate a person's Fourth Amendment right to unreasonable searches. IGG was used to connect DNA found at the scene to a family member of Brian Kohberger's. The defense wants proof of how. This week, the defense will call 2 DNA experts to the stand. According to court documents, one of them has criticized the IGG method, saying in some cases, law enforcement and genealogists have engaged in deceptive practices, writing, "It is imperative in the defense in this case to know how Mr. Kohberger was identified and who else in his family tree might have been identified as a subject of investigation." To learn more about why the state says this information should not be released, you can head to KXLY.com. Well, the Spokane Police Department says it's seen far too many people fall victim to cryptocurrency scams. I spoke to one of those victims, an 84-year-old woman who lost her entire life savings. She lost more than $300,000 in a crypto scam and wants to remain anonymous. It all started with a phone call from someone claiming to be from Amazon and became more threatening over time. She was immediately suspicious, but the calls and the threats continued.
Threatening was the most important feature to them to make you afraid, to make you submit to them. And they're very good at that.
She's sharing her story with us to make sure you don't fall victim like she did. Watch my special report tomorrow on 4 News Now at 6. Well, the popular fast food giant Raising Cane's plans on opening a new location in the inland Northwest. Find out where coming up. And the number of people who are visiting Mount Spokane has almost doubled in the last decade. What changes the community wants to make to deal with the growing number of people visiting the park? Tonight at 6:30. Plus, what doctors say you should do to lower your chances of getting sick during your summer vacation. Those stories and much more coming up on 4 News Now at 6. Don't go away.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
Shop us and you will see no one saves you more green than the Green Team at Jennifer's Auto Sales and Service.
The sisters of Nicole Brown Simpson.
How do you live with 30 years of rage and heartbreak?
Their first TV interview in 30 years.
Our top story, the death of O.J. Simpson.
Did it change anything for you?
Starting tomorrow morning on GMA.
I think I'm gonna go with a 9-iron.
I'd suggest a 7. No. Oh. Did you know that if a bird picks up your ball, you gotta follow it? Oh, there it is. I think it's to the right.
Nah.
Is this it?
Nope, not it.
More! Can I be frank? At STCU, we're always here to advise and consult, even if you want to go at it your own way.
Let's see what you've got, Frank. I think we should talk.
STCU Business. Partner up.
At Liberty Park, we've been growing our own since 1928, and we continue to be your go-to greenhouse for all your gardening needs, including custom container planting. We have a colorful selection of annuals, perennials, and hanging baskets. With several varieties of tomatoes and other veggie starts, we have all you need to kick off your vegetable garden. We also carry yard art, soil, and pots of all sizes and colors. Liberty Park Greenhouse and Garden Center is now open in the historic South Perry District.
Guess what time it is?
Sponsored locally by Valley VIP.
What does RV stand for? Recreational vehicle or ruined vacation? At Click It RV, we want you to have a fun, safe camping experience. So for the month of May, get to any Click It RV store and get a professional propane leak test, tire pressure check, wheel bearings, roof, slide and battery test. And all inspections are free because we want you and yours to have a safe camping season. Thinking of upgrading? Check out the used selection of new and used top brands like Grand Design, Rockwood, Flagstaff, Winnebago, and more. So get to a Click It RV store near you for a free inspection and keep your family safe.
Do you have a storage problem? Wisman Storage Containers is your all-in-one local storage solution. We offer a variety of sizes and provide free delivery within the greater Spokane area. Wisman Storage Containers is your locally owned and family-operated storage solution. Don't just store. Secure your stuff today.
Well, welcome back. According to TSA, this has been the busiest Memorial Day weekend ever. Some say it could give us a glimpse of what we could expect for the rest of the summer. ABC's Melissa Adon explains.
From the skies to the ground, a record-breaking Memorial Day holiday weekend. Millions of Americans making the trip back home, with the roads and skies expected to be jam-packed following this travel surge. On Friday, TSA screening nearly 3 million people across the country, more than Thanksgiving's numbers, and breaking a record for the most travelers screened in a single day in TSA's 22-year history.
With people flying again, just like they did well before the pandemic, people are more confident in flying and traveling now.
Many enjoying the unofficial start of summer. In Northern California, lakes filled with boaters.
We're big-time boaters. It's usually pretty packed on holiday weekends. You forget about all your worries. All your worries go out the door.
In New Jersey, a Memorial Day parade honoring those who served and paid the ultimate sacrifice.
And those that gave their life for us so that we can sit here and enjoy this day.
For those hitting the road along with tens of millions of Americans, gas prices are some of the lowest for Memorial Day weekend, with the national gas price around $3.59 per gallon of regular unleaded.
Experts suggest to beat the traffic, either you leave very early or on the later side to avoid that afternoon jam. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, anyone traveling to the coast this summer should be sure to talk to your kids about strong rip currents before they jump into the ocean. This weekend alone, roughly a dozen people had to be rescued from a series of strong rip currents in Galveston, Texas. A 26-year-old tourist from Louisiana and a 19-year-old from Houston did not survive. 3 Good Samaritans rescuing this teen exhausted in a Florida rip current.
Kid was going underwater numerous times. I yelled for him to swim to me.
Now, the best way to avoid becoming a victim of a rip current is knowing how to swim out of one. One of the most common mistakes is trying to swim back to shore by swimming against the current.
The thing with the rip current is it's moving about as fast as an Olympic swimmer, so unless you're Michael Phelps, you're probably not going to beat him.
Instead, experts say the first thing to do is flip and float. This will help you stay calm. The next move is swimming parallel to the shore, following the direction of the coastline until you feel that rip current stop pulling. Then swimming at an angle back to the shore. If you're taking to the skies this summer, the last thing you want during your vacation is to pick up any travel bugs. Experts say less healthy food and less sleep make it harder for your body to fight off disease. One doctor is saying people usually pick up the common cold, but there's also a bug known as the festival flu, which is a combination of a few different viral illnesses.
People think of them as kind of fall, winter type of diseases, but that's actually inaccurate.
To prevent catching anything, keep your hands clean, try to move away from anyone coughing or sneezing, stay hydrated, and when in enclosed spaces like a plane, wear a mask to wear an added layer of protection. Experts also say another travel bug you should be on the lookout for are ticks. Ticks can carry Lyme disease. You can be exposed to them while hiking, camping, or even just out mowing the lawn. Protect yourself by wearing long sleeves and pants, tucking your pants into your socks, and using insect repellent as well.
Oh my goodness, you may not want to go outside and enjoy this evening. After all those hazards, 71 degrees at 7 o'clock with mostly cloudy skies. The clouds will be increasing this evening with some rain on the way. I'll let you know what to expect after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Northwest Granite.
Arby's Deluxe Burger. Have you ever seen such a well-crafted burger? Oh, Arby's Big Cheesy Bacon Burger. Have you ever seen such a... Arby's, we have the meat.
Welcome to Coeur d'Alene Honda.
Thank you. I've been coming here for years, and I've always felt just like family.
At Coeur d'Alene Honda, we've been family owned and operated for over 50 years. We pride ourselves in giving the best customer experience.
And every new car comes with a nationwide lifetime warranty.
We have some of the best selection of pre-owned vehicles to choose from.
And select pre-owned Hondas come with our lifetime warranty.
So which Honda would you prefer? Coeur d'Alene Honda with the nationwide lifetime warranty at no additional cost to you? Or the other guys?
And don't forget about the lifetime warranty.
Spokane's hottest music.
Break me so done with you, girl. I've been popping, man, I feel just like a rock star.
Hot 96.9.
Over the last 24 years, I've been building a diverse coalition of business leaders, developers, and community leaders to use our social and political capital to make positive change in our community. I want to take the power of that coalition to Olympia and fight for Spokane's priorities. Join our coalition for positive change. I'm running for the 3rd Legislative District House seat, and I ask for your support.
Paid for by Friends of Ben Stuckert, Democrat.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 32 miles per gallon. Plus, 97% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
Drive new Subaru models with 2.9% financing for 72 months at AutoNation Subaru.
Arby's has let other burger joints have their little fun. Playtime is over. The meat professionals will take it from here. Arby's, we have the meat.
Well, the popular chicken restaurant Raising Cane's is coming to North Spokane. The restaurant is filing a building permit. It filed a building permit last Friday. The only other location in Washington right now is in Vancouver, and there are no Raising Cane's in Idaho. A building permit with the city shows the location planned on North Newport Highway, right next to Home Depot, and also right next to Chick-fil-A, which is kind of interesting. No other information is available other than that it describes the project as a new Raising Cane's restaurant with a drive-through and a patio. It's not clear yet when the restaurant could open. The application still needs to be approved. Chris, you said you've never eaten at one.
But you have.
Twice. Vegas last year and then Tucson just a few weeks ago. I think it's really good. I'd be excited about this.
Okay, well, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's funny, right next door. I guess that's like when there's two Starbucks right next to each other.
Wars.
Oh, well, who will win? All of us, I guess. Let's take a look at a picture from Lisa Lenz, who is a longtime employee here at 4 News Now, and her darling son said, "Mom, come look at this rainbow today." It is a sun halo, and I actually have several sun halo photos waiting for me in my email inbox. It's a sign that something's moving in. The high clouds made of ice crystals are preceding more serious clouds, bringing showers and thunderstorms, but filters and refracts the sun's rays through those ice crystals and creates a halo around the sun, which is covered by more typical altocumulus in this particular photo. Thank you, Lisa, and thanks to your sweet little boy as well for sharing this phenomenon with us. Right now, it is 74 degrees and mostly cloudy in Spokane. There's the view from the station over the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena this evening. It's 73 with some sunshine in Coeur d'Alene. Pretty quiet there on US 95. Maybe everybody's waiting for tomorrow morning to come home. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. There's a chance of showers overnight tonight. More showers Tuesday with the possibility of some thunderstorms. We're going to bring some cooler air in, dropping our temperatures back down below average for Wednesday and Thursday, but it's just a temporary cool down. Our chance of precipitation on Tuesday starts off fairly low. This is measurable rain at 20% at 6 a.m., bumping up to 30% by noon before dropping off again to 0 in the evening. And it is during that time where we have a 30% chance of showers that we have our best chance for a rumble of thunder. Now, this has been updated since earlier this evening at 5 o'clock. Our forecast rain totals, and really wants to keep most of the rain to the north and to our east. That is the latest thinking on this approaching system. So you'll notice that the rainfall totals are very, very low, but we have this southwesterly flow that will bring in those showers overnight, an upper level trough beginning to head our way that will keep the chance of showers on a hit and miss basis through Wednesday, and that's also going to drop our temperatures as we get into Wednesday as well by more than 10 degrees. Tonight, things stay warm with the clouds. We'll be in the 50s, highs tomorrow in the 70s and 80s, and then we drop into the 60s on Wednesday with just a 20% chance of rain. Sunny and warmer heading into a nice weekend, partly cloudy with highs in the 70s. Some interesting things happening in the 8 to 14 day forecast. I'll have that for you in the next half hour, Derek. You're going to need to dig out your very warm weather clothes.
All right, Chris, thank you. Still ahead, we are honoring some of our nation's oldest veterans who are still helping their fellow servicemen. We'll show you the creative methods they come up with to support one another.
My kids ran in and we looked out and we just seen all the damage.
Plus, a look at the damage left behind by the deadly storms that killed at least 21 people across the U.S. Don't go away.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
It's Ford SUV season. Time to get out there and take on adventure in a whole new way. Let's get going. Get 0 for 72 and $3,000 cash on an Escape or $3,000 on a Mustang Mach-E. Only at your local Ford dealer.
When you have moderate to severe eczema, it's okay to show off. With Dupixent, Show off your clearer skin and less itch. Because you have plenty of reasons to show off your skin. With Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists, you can stay ahead of your eczema. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema to help heal your skin from within. Many adults saw 90% clearer skin. Some even achieved long-lasting clearer skin and fast itch relief after first dose. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Show off to the world. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
At America Northwest Plumbing, they do everything from service calls to bathroom remodels to new construction. They can take care of your plumbing solutions no matter what the need. They are dedicated, professional, and dependable. Call or click America Northwest Plumbing today, your one-stop plumbing shop.
Hi, I'm Matt Gray with 4 News Now. For families with teenagers, here are some tips that could teach them more about money management.
Get a check register and enter a set amount of money in it like it was a paycheck from a job. Then walk them through what to deduct if they were living on their own. Car payments, rent, food costs, and internet. And give them options of buying some fun things too. Have them work through those deductions to get an idea of what bills should be paid first.
There are lots of great ways to teach your kids about money. For more tips, go to becu.org.
4 News Now and STCU are teaming up to highlight and congratulate high school and college graduates. Send us a photo of your senior, and 10 lucky students will be chosen to win a $50 gift card from STCU. Enter your senior photo today at KXLY.com.
It's Ford SUV season. Time to get out there and take on adventure in a whole new way. Let's get going. Get 0 for 72 and $3,000 cash on an Escape or $3,000 on a Mustang Mach-E. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Travel for Adventures is brought to you in part by TourMosesLake.com.
Well, take a look at this drone video taken yesterday from Goreville, Illinois. Off in the distance, you can see a massive tornado. That was just one of many storms that made their way through parts of the U.S. over the weekend. Experts say these storms killed at least 21 people. CNN's Laura Aguirre has more as tornado victims assess what's left and where these storms are headed.
My kids ran in and we looked out and we just seen all the damage.
Patrice Childress is one of many survivors who had only seconds to find cover during Sunday's wave of deadly tornadoes.
Tried to make it into the hallway, and that's when we realized we didn't have a roof.
At least 4 children are among the double-digit death toll that spans Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Kentucky.
We know we had one tornado on the ground at least 40 miles. And a number of other tornadoes that spun down and spun back up.
The exact number, Kentucky's governor says, is still being calculated by the National Weather Service.
I also declared a state of emergency for the entire Commonwealth of Kentucky. That allows us to bring in resources, including the National Guard.
Arkansas is also under a state of emergency following widespread destruction and several fatalities there. Some survivors grateful to still have their homes, but facing a lot of cleanup nonetheless.
I knew I'd have at least a couple of trees down, but I didn't realize that all my trees would be down.
In some areas of the South, massive chunks of hail rained down, like these softball-sized pieces collected by a resident in Oklahoma. There are still a couple 100,000 residents without power across the 4 states hit hardest, the majority in Kentucky, as tracked by Power Outage US, with tens of thousands more outages reported across the Midwest, South, and Mid-Atlantic, as dangerous weather alerts stretch from New York to Alabama, threatening more large hail and possible tornadoes through the evening hours Monday. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Well, a 73-year-old man is now safe after being lost in the Idaho wilderness for almost a week. How he says he survived, coming up.
Plus, the future of Mount Spokane lies within the hands of our community. I'll tell you after the break how you can voice your opinion of how you want the future of this park to look.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
At Numerica, you'll find money answers for acronym fans. Get money answers for you and only you. Learn more at numericacu.com.
Take advantage of the tax credits you can, including the annual Washington State Working Families Tax Credit. You can get money back on state taxes already paid. Visit workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov.
Digital scams have cost people their life savings. So how does someone fall for them? One woman who lost more than $300,000 takes us step-by-step through what happened and why anyone can be a target. Watch Tuesday only on 4 News Now at 6.
The spring clearance sale is on at R&R RV Center in Liberty Lake and North Spokane. Spring into action with R&R's largest discounts ever. Class B camper vans up to $83,000 off. Montana fifth wheels up to $43,000 off. Cougar's #1 selling fifth wheel floor plan priced at only $49,990. Shop now at R&R RV in Liberty Lake or North Spokane. Online at rnrrv.com.
From R&R RV, your RV superstore.
Don't miss your chance to get this year's KXLY Golf Pass presented by Dry Fly Distilling. You'll get 5 rounds at 5 premier golf courses, all for only $175. Experience Stone Ridge's stunning natural beauty, the Highlands with gorgeous North Idaho scenery, Trailhead with its new clubhouse in the heart of Liberty Lake, Twin Lakes Village with its exceptional views and unforgettable golf, and test your distance at the links. Go to kxly.com/golf and get your KXLY Golf Pass. Presented by Dry Fly Distilling.
Coughing on a plane.
I swear to you, it was a chorus of coughs.
How to stay healthy traveling this Memorial Day. Next Inside Edition. When is it right for a passenger to be kicked off planes for coughing? Then, the new way of teaching kids how to swim with their clothes on.
Put your head all the way back.
How this method can save so many lives. Next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, whether you're taking the journey to Mount Spokane to enjoy the views, hike the trails, or picnic at the campgrounds, its beauty draws visitors from all over. In 2023, Washington State Parks totaled over 467,000 visitors to Mount Spokane. Only 10 years earlier, in 2014, the number was about half that, at 234,000 visitors. So in just a decade, the number of visits have nearly doubled, drawing attention to the need for new infrastructure and future investments. Yet some are concerned if more is built, it will diminish the park's beauty. Our Hunter Bertram has the story.
There's probably more trees in this park than there is on the whole island of Ireland. It's an absolute gem. It's got to be one of the most beautiful places in the world, in my opinion.
Colin's opinion is not uncommon. Mount Spokane is beloved by many across the world. Colin moved from Ireland to Spokane and frequents our city's backyard.
Chasing some good times, good memories. Just have a laugh and re-energize and get our fix of nature.
That fix drives hundreds of thousands of people to the park. One question, is there enough infrastructure to support nearly 500,000 visitors a year?
I think one issue on the weekend sometimes is parking is sort of getting to the stage now where it might start to get a little bit overcrowded, especially as the city's growing.
And he's not alone in feeling crowded on the mountain.
It depends on when you come up here. Certainly some of the popular weekends, there's a lot of people out here enjoying it.
Because of this, Washington State Parks are approaching the future of the mountain with the community's perspective in mind.
If they could reintroduce the woolly mammoth, that would be amazing.
Obviously, that won't happen, but there are suggestions such as new trails, facilities, infrastructure, and reconsidering what recreation is allowed in the park.
I think in terms of hiking trails and biking trails, this is a pretty big park and it can stand a lot of trails, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. Now, if you opened it up to a lot of ATVs and that kind of development.
Another consideration is what the historic Bear Creek Lodge should be transformed into. Recently, it was purchased by Washington State Parks. They say it will become the new gateway to Mount Spokane.
And the question stands whether investing more into trails will then diminish the conservation of this area. It's a double-edged sword that not everybody agrees upon.
It's just going to bring more money into the park, I reckon. Therefore, it's just going to lead to more conservation, more this, that, and the other.
On June 1st, from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Wonder Building in downtown Spokane, you can voice your opinion on what the future of the mountain should look like. On Mount Spokane, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
Well, the Spokane City Council will vote next week on whether to settle a lawsuit with the family of a man shot by Spokane police back in January of 2022. This all started when officers responded to a domestic violence call. In this video, you can see officers enter Peterson Camo's home. Officers say Camo had a knife to a child's throat when they arrived. Prosecutors cleared officers of any crime, and Camo's family filed a tort claim against the city. Camo's family filed the wrongful death suit last September. The family says at the time of the shooting, they were already mourning Camo's brother, who died from a medical condition the week before. A family member called 911, but because of a language barrier, the family says the call was misinterpreted by the 911 dispatcher. The suit says because of that error, police thought they were responding to a call about a body in the home. The lawsuit claims the officers did not follow best practices that would require them to de-escalate the situation. The city council will vote next week on a settlement to pay the family $250,000 in exchange for the family releasing the city of any liability. All right, here is another live look at the Spokane River near Corbin Falls in Post Falls, and you'll want to wait a few weeks still before you get into our area lakes and rivers, since that water is still extremely cold. But what do you think, Chris? Maybe by end of June-ish, 4th of July, maybe?
I think so, especially coming up later in the half hour when I show you some of the outlooks for the middle of June. Things are going to start warming up. To be sure, I'll tell you what, there were a lot of boats going by this camera, Sandpoint US2 in Boyer. I've been watching it today. A lot of people have been out on the lake on this long weekend. A beautiful evening in Sandpoint with blue skies and some sunshine. The clouds are moving in, however, and we do have some showers on the way developing overnight south of Spokane. We'll see those showers move through the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area through the morning, and then a chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms as we get into the afternoon. A lot of the wet weather is going to be staying to our east and north, but I would suspect we'll at least get some wet weather out of this next system on the way. Our temperatures on Tuesday will be running above average despite the increase in clouds and the possible rain. 80s in Lewiston and the Tri-Cities, 70s over much of the rest of the region, even Kalispell getting up into the 80s tomorrow. Your Tuesday planner now 74 is our average, or excuse me, 70 is our average high. We're heading up to a high of 74 after a warm morning in the 50s. At least a chance of showers throughout most of the day, and then things will taper off as we get into tomorrow evening. I'll be back with your 7-day outlook plus that 8 to 14 day. It's warm. I'll tell you about it in a little bit. Derek.
Well, veterans, volunteers, and families attended the Memorial Day service at Fairmont Memorial Park today. The service was a tribute to those who have served and sacrificed for our country. The solemn event was surrounded by the nearly 4,000 American flags that fly over the cemetery. Along with the large flags, small flags were placed at the graves of fallen veterans by preschoolers. We told you about this. Last Friday, kids from the Northeast Youth Center learned about the history and honoring service members by placing flags and pennies on their graves. It's the 6th year of this tradition. Well, here's a live look at the Veterans Memorial Arena, where earlier today they held a Boots on the Ground event. It featured military boots with photos and names of fallen post-9/11 service members. And tonight, we also want to highlight some of our nation's oldest veterans who are still supporting their fellow service members. ABC's Danny New has their stories.
On a decommissioned aircraft carrier turned museum in New York City's Hudson River,
I was on an attack transport ship.
98-year-old Arthur Grabiner is on a mission to make sure people understand what he and his shipmates went through while serving in World War II.
I figure it's a duty that I owe this generation.
This is Bob getting ready to load his display up.
And 500 miles south in North Carolina, 80-year-old retired Master Sergeant Bob Duke is delivering yet another shipment.
Welcome to our garage.
As he continues his now enormous operation of collecting lost golf balls at various courses and then selling them to support the Wounded Warrior Project. In the past 12 years, Bob and his wife Vicki have raised more than $500,000 to help veterans who are healing.
I said, I'm going to start giving them money because I live on a golf course and people need golf balls.
All over the country, veterans are still serving their country and communities, and some are even finally getting the recognition they always deserved. Like 100-year-old retired Corporal Benjamin Barry, who still remembers serving during the most pivotal moments of World War II, like the Battle of Normandy.
You could hear the rockets going overhead.
While serving in an all-black unit 80 years later, Benjamin still carries with him the racism that he and his comrades all experienced.
Here we are in our uniforms representing, the United States, and they won't even let us eat in their restaurant.
At Philadelphia's Veterans Day Parade this past year, Benjamin was honored as the Grand Marshal. He said he was grateful, even if it still felt surprising.
People actually appreciate it and show it. It's really mind-boggling and worth it.
And this past March, Benjamin also received the highest honor bestowed by the French government, the French Legion of Honor. Of course, so well-deserved. In New York for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
It's a pretty cool story. All right, it's been a rough couple of weeks for the Spokane Velocity, who can't seem to buy a win, let alone a goal.
Yeah, that's right. They've had the opportunities. It's been there for this young team, but they're going through some growing pains at this point in the season. But there's also some performances that need to be highlighted. Coming up in sports, see which position was absolutely lights out over the weekend and why they need to continue that dominance.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Travel for Adventures is brought to you in part by Grant County Tourism.
You're feeding it.
I will, I promise. Thanks to our Premier Rewards Visa credit card from ICCU, we earned enough cash back to stock up on puppy supplies.
But we don't have a puppy.
They're very convincing children.
It's a 4-day price crash today through this Monday at all Cal locations, where they are loading up the lots with hot buys and big markdowns, plus giving you up to 110% trade-in value for your old ride. Today through this Monday at Cal.
40 years ago, an idea was born. 40 years ago, excitement emerged. Now, 40 years later, all trails lead to all sport. Side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles, watercraft, and pontoon boats. Who has it all? All Sport has it all. Polaris, Honda, BRP, Can-Am, KTM, Indian, and more. How will you spend the next 40 years? Make 2024 the best summer ever. Join our local team in celebrating 40 years in business. Have it all at All Sport, just off I-90 in Liberty Lake.
My name's Matt Dillon. I'm the marshal.
Memorable Westerns.
That's what we've been looking for.
Watch weekdays on MeTV 4.2.
It's the big kickoff event this month at Northwest Fence, where every year we launch the fencing season with great bargains on fence and automated gate packages. So give us a call to schedule your new chain link, vinyl, or ornamental iron fence. Or maybe you're a do-it-yourselfer looking for materials. Save a little the cost by shopping early and beating the summer rush during the spring launch at Northwest Fence. Nobody builds them better.
Next ET.
My real name is Brad Pitt, born with it.
Brad's Hollywood Evolution Plus, which you never knew about his romances and bromances.
I steal hearts.
Next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
Where's my husband?
He's on a ventilator.
They're saying you may already be lost.
The 911 season finale, Thursday on ABC.
Well, it has been a difficult 2 weeks for the Spokane Velocity. They've played 180 minutes of soccer and have 0 goals to show for it, as their offense has not been able to capitalize on any opportunities in front of them. But even in the 2 straight defeats, there are still some silver linings. In Saturday's 0-0 finish against Greenville in the USL Jägermeister Cup, goalkeeper Carlos Morencio was an absolute wall. After seeing no playing time a week ago, he got the start and recorded a clean sheet and 7 saves along the way against one of the USL's top offenses. Now, this is the 3rd time this season Morencio hasn't allowed a goal, but the credit goes far beyond just the man in the net.
Him, the back line, our midfield too. Listen, clean sheets don't come from the keeper, they come from the team.
the guys in the front line too. It's a team effort to force them into the areas where we want them. And everybody did a really good job of that tonight. Even in the moments where we got a little bit disorganized in our shape, we did a fantastic job still in shutting them down, and good defensive performance.
Now he's going to have to keep up that performance as the Velocity will return to the pitch on Saturday evening. They're going to welcome in Chivas de Guadalajara U23 from Mexico in their first ever international friendly. Now, over in Paris this morning, it was possibly the end of an era as Rafael Nadal was defeated in straight sets by Alexander Zverev in the first round of the French Open. The 37-year-old Spaniard won the tournament 14 times and was only defeated there 4 times in his career, but injuries have made it difficult for the 22-time Grand Slam champion to play the last couple of years. And he said after the match, this is a big percentage that it will be his final French Open. And some sad news this evening as basketball legend Bill Walton passed away at the age of 71 after a long battle with cancer. He was a 2-time NCAA champion at UCLA under head coach John Wooden. In 1974, he was drafted by Portland and helped lead the Blazers to their only championship in franchise history in 1977. And a year later, he was named the league MVP, but it was his media career that took him to another level of fame, as he was so famously a color commentator on many Pac-12 basketball broadcasts throughout the decades. Now, Bill was probably the Pac-12 conference's biggest fan. You will not find anyone more passionate in the Conference of Champions, and maybe a little bittersweet that he passes away on the weekend where it's the final conference matchup for the
Pac-12 baseball tournament down there in that one. So, sad to see Bill go. But, I've always remembered calling Pullman the Rome of the Northwest. So he'll be sadly missed for sure. Chris?
Here are 4 things to know about your weather. We have the potential for some showers overnight, more showers and thunderstorms on an isolated basis tomorrow. It's going to be cooler for the middle of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, but that cool weather is not going to be around long. I'll tell you about the warm up after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Summer is here with a hot deal at Pepe Machinery. Enjoy 0% financing for 84 months on select John Deere tractors. No hidden fees, just unbeatable performance. Act fast. This offer ends soon. Visit Pepe Machinery Yag and Turf today.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. With standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 32 miles per gallon. Plus, 97% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you.
Drive new Subaru models with 2.9% financing for 72 months at AutoNation Subaru.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can capture all the moments that make summer, summer. Like driving a RAV4 to wade in a waterfall.
Nice.
Cruising to play mini golf in a Camry. Or taking a Tundra to the beach.
You're not going to leave me here, are you? Right now, lease a new 2024 Tundra for just $549 per month. See your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com to learn more.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
I felt like there was just no answers to get out of the anxiety and the depression that I had.
Introducing NeuroStim TMS, Washington's leading provider of transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS therapy. TMS is not shock therapy. It's an FDA-approved, easy outpatient experience and covered by all major medical insurances.
There's nothing better than just being able to enjoy life again.
Reach out to NeuroStim TMS today and rediscover the light and joy in your life.
I shower as though I've been exposed to nuclear radiation.
It's like going to the car wash.
Next live, Jonathan Groff and Adam Rodriguez.
Watch live tomorrow at 9, right after GMA.
Honeymoon phase over already, huh?
These things normally take a while to figure out, and
We get you compensated fairly and only get paid after you win.
One call, that's all.
509-999-9999. When it's time to protect your home, call Everhart Painting, Spokane's premier painting contractor. Everhart Painting takes care of every detail and backs the results with their industry-leading warranty. Call now for our spring special. Everhart Painting, your painter for life.
4 News Now is brought to you by Walker's Furniture.
Around the Northwest, a 73-year-old man in central Idaho is happy to be back home safe after surviving for 5 days on nothing but creek water and snow. Thomas Gray was on a solo rafting trip on the Salmon River when his raft flipped over. With an injured leg, he was able to swim to the shore, but then quickly realized all of his equipment was gone. He hiked for days searching for help. First responders in Custer County eventually found him lying in a pile of snow on the side of the road. They estimated Gray had hiked about 23 miles.
He doesn't look any worse for the wear there. Does he?
But crazy that on a solo rafting trip, first of all, but then to have to hike and survive for that long in not the best conditions.
No, that is rugged. That is a rugged part of Idaho.
No doubt.
But he's tough. Hats off. Do not try that at home.
No.
Well, it was a beautiful day today. No snow around here. 75 degrees our high. 70 is our average high. We started the day off at 52. We're going to be almost exactly hitting those numbers again tomorrow. 5 a.m. The sunrise, sunset is at 8:36. Here's a look at high temperatures today across the region. 78 in Ritzville and Moses Lake. Beautiful day in Colville. Made it into the 70s in Bonners Ferry and Sandpoint, as well as Moscow and Pullman. It was 83 today in Lewiston. We'll be in similar territory again tomorrow. 74 for a high. Here's our temperature trend over the next 7 days. And then we take a dip on Wednesday down into the lower 60s. The white line is our average high, which is right at 70 now. 65 on Thursday, and then we'll be right around average through the rest of the 7-day forecast. But it doesn't look like that is going to be the trend for long. May I give you the 8 to 14-day outlook, and we are in the deepest, darkest reds over the western United States, including a good chunk of the inland Northwest is at least several shades into the red there, and that is a strong signal of above average temperatures throughout the entire region for that June 4th through June 10th time period. We are going to be right on the western edge of a ridge of high pressure that's going to be impacting a good portion of the country. And being on that western edge, we are also right in between above average precipitation to our west and below average precipitation to our east. You'll notice that just brushes up against us with that light green, with the light beige off to the east. And if we do have above average temperatures and above average precipitation, that bumps up our chances for some thunderstorms. Tomorrow, odds are not especially good. Here is a look at our severe thunderstorm forecast. This comes from the Severe Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. And we are just in this possible area which for severe thunderstorms or strong thunderstorms for most of western Montana and the central panhandle down through portions of the Idaho Palouse and the LC Valley. This is just a chance of thunderstorms in the yellow shaded area, which does include Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, but doesn't make it very far into the Columbia Basin. Moses Lake and Ritzville left out of that possibility. But as this system gets closer, it looks like most of the wet weather and the threat of thunderstorms will be well to our east. We still have a 30% chance of precipitation on Tuesday, some hit and miss showers on Wednesday, and then we dry out and start warming up heading into the weekend, Eric.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Around the world tonight, at least 45 Palestinian civilians are dead following an IDF airstrike that caused an explosion and a fast-moving fire through a refugee camp in Rafah. That's according to Gaza's health ministry. ABC's Christian Cordero has more.
An overnight airstrike in western Rafah now triggering an investigation today after dozens of Palestinian civilians were killed in a refugee camp. Gaza's health ministry, run by Hamas, says Israeli fighter jets launched missiles at shelters in what had been designated as a humanitarian zone. The IDF disputes the claim that this was a humanitarian zone. The explosion caused a fire that rapidly spread throughout the camp as people tried putting the flames out. Hundreds are injured and the death toll is expected to rise. This woman cries they have no friends or family left and can't identify their loved ones. The IDF says the incident is under review. It claims the strikes killed 2 senior Hamas officials and that they're aware of several civilians in the area that were harmed.
Any loss of life, civilian life, is grave and is awful. We seek to go after Hamas and limit civilian casualties, and we will investigate if an investigation is needed.
Hours before the Western Rafah strikes, the IDF says Hamas fired rockets from Rafah into Israel. It was Hamas's first rocket launch towards Tel Aviv in at least 4 months. 2 people were injured. According to Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry, the war has killed nearly 36,000 Palestinians. That number includes civilians and fighters. Israel blamed civilian deaths on Hamas's strategy to operate in densely populated residential areas. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
All right, as we head to a break, here's a look at today's ABC primetime lineup.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Arby's Deluxe Burger. Have you ever seen such a well-crafted burger? Oh, Arby's Big Cheesy Bacon Burger. Have you ever seen such a... Arby's, we have the meats.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
What does RV stand for? Recreational vehicle or ruined vacation? At Click-It RV, we want you to have a fun, safe camping experience. So for the month of May, get to any Click-It RV store and get a professional propane leak test, tire pressure check, wheel bearings, roof, slide and battery test. And all inspections are free because we want you and yours to have a safe camping season. Thinking of upgrading? Check out their used selection of new and used top brands like Grand Design, Rockwood, Flagstaff, Winnebago, and more. So get to a Click-It RV store near you for a free inspection and keep your family safe.
I think I'm gonna go with a 9-iron.
I'd suggest a 7.
No.
Oh. Did you know that if a bird picks up your ball, you gotta follow it? Oh, there it is. I think it's to the right.
Nah.
Is this it?
Nope, not it.
More! Can I be frank? At STCU, we're always here to advise and consult, even if you want to go at it your own way.
Let's see what you've got, Frank. I think we should talk.
STCU Business. Partner up.
I'm a real wild one. Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a Bronco Sport Wild Edition for $339 a month for 36 months, or purchase with 3.9 for 36 and get $2,000 wild bonus cash.
Arby's has let other burger joints have their little fun. Playtime is over. The meat professionals will take it from here. Arby's, we have the meats.
Par, family owned since 1930. Go where the builders go.
What are you gonna build?
Coming up tonight on Nightside, a squishy, grumpy little face has gone viral on social media. Meet the baby behind these hilarious photos coming up tonight at 11 o'clock.
I can't wait for that. We do have the possibility of some light rain overnight tonight into Tuesday. Wouldn't rule out an isolated thunderstorm and some cooler weather midweek. Next weekend is looking good.
Okay. We hope you enjoyed watching 4 News Now at 6, and we hope you'll join us tonight at 11 for Nightside as well. We'll see you later.